Welcome to the CEO Holy Grail. I'm your co host, Regina Partain Bergman, and unfortunately, my co host, Asha Matkowska, is unable to be with us today. So, Asha, we're wishing you were here and hope that all is going well for you. But Craig and I will do our best to carry on in your absence. So, welcome, Craig. So glad that you could be here today. We're excited to get to know more about you in a few minutes, but just welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Regina. Yes, sorry about Asha, but we'll catch up another time.
We'll catch up another time. So we'll be thinking about her, folks. So I am thrilled, though, to introduce our guest today. So Asha and I met, Craig, a little while back, and we have had our challenges with calendars because Craig is in Australia. I'm in Texas. At the moment, Asha is in Poland, and we'll be back to California next month. So we've kind of been all over the globe and fighting the time zone changes. But let me just tell you a smidgen about Craig before I let him tell his own story here. He is a specialist in mergers and acquisitions, sales, and a new word for me, demergers, carve outs, and roll ups. He is the host of the podcast M&A Profits Lesson from the Trenches. So, Craig, would you please share with us a bit about your journey, who you serve, and why that's important to you?
Well, my journey isn't a simple one. It hasn't been a straight line. It's been the curves and river-like journey. I've been doing M&As for about 20 odd years now. And mergers and acquisitions, by the way, M&As, mergers and acquisitions. And I've been corrected on that recently, that it should actually be acquisitions and mergers. Because you've got to
Aha,
do the
okay.
acquisitions first, don't you?
Yes, I
Some people are
suppose
just so
so.
clever. And so I started off in IT in the technical area, and I've moved into the business side over that time frame. And in the last 6 months, I've really upped the ante and been out rather than working for the big companies out there. I've gone out and I'm doing it myself and educating people and working with smaller businesses these days.
Hmm.
So normally mine have been the 8, 9, and 10 figures. Now I've knocked it down a notch and working with the 7, 8, and 9 figures businesses.
Okay.
So yes, that's what I do. Now, who I serve, I guess traditionally I've served the people the people on either end of the deal, really, because I've done a lot of integrations work, taking it from one place and putting it into another.
Oh,
So the people that I've served have been the people at both ends of the deal and the arrangement, the organizations. So that's really what I do, is I help people go from one state to another state, another different type of business. But more importantly, the roll-ups are where you can sell a business multiple times.
oh,
So
that's an
that's worth
interesting
a discussion
concept.
too. Yes.
Yes, that's interesting. So, do you work with any particular industries or just across the board?
Get that all the time, because people love to put you in little boxes in everything in life. They just want to put you in this little box that, oh, you're
That's the
that,
truth,
you can do that. Well, no. I'm a multifaceted person. I've got a whole heap of different interests. As a
right?
result, no, I can
No.
work in any industry. The processes and the
Excellent.
systems, the methodologies of doing it all come down to a couple of basic things. And the first one is people, respecting people and understanding that you're dealing with people's lives. By the time you really get down to a merger and acquisition, the deal makers, they all think that it's about getting the signature on the page. I'm so good. I've got the signature on the page. It's all done. It's all over. And I'm going
Yeah.
to make all this money. Well, no, that isn't the way
Yeah.
it works. You see, you've got then got to actually do something, take some actions. You've got to deal with people's lives, and you've got to change the way that they do something. You've got to move them out of a business that they've probably been involved with for 10 or 15 years and move them into another one. You've got to retrain them. You've got to take that culture and bring a new culture to them, a new way that they can thrive and be part of the world and see themselves in that world. That's the true skill. Then the final part of it is, let's make some money. Let's make this all work. And that happens not in the first year, not even in the second year, but the third and the fourth year. Whereas my podcast is called M&A Profits. The reason for the profits there is 70% of merger and acquisitions never actually achieve the results they were after, which is just devastating.
Yes.
So that's why I focus on getting people the profits, because everybody wins that way.
Right. So when you said that deal makers think about the signature on that page as being kind of the end of the deal, it's really more the beginning, isn't it, of what needs to be done? Or the middle, maybe, the middle first part.
It is. The problem is those people up the front there generally have something in the beginning of their title starting with the letter C.
Yes, yes.
So they're generally the C-suite in some variety. So their belief systems seem to override everybody else's belief systems and practicalities. And it can't. We need, when I talk about education before, and I said I educate people, the course that I have written is for the C-suite and the deal makers. It's not for the other people. It's here. You've got to be realistic here, because even within the C-suite, they probably only do this once or twice in their lifetimes.
In their lifetime. Yeah. Yeah.
They're just not experienced. And though they've got the title and they've got the shiny pat on the back in that they've got the deal done, and yes, it may be a great idea, but a great idea, putting wheels on a car and then not making them round and making them squares, the implementation's pretty important, really, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? So in your work, Craig, you see a lot of the challenges that CEOs are facing. And they're particular, I would think they are particularly glaring when they're at this point of mergers and acquisitions. What are some of those challenges? And we'll talk about solutions to the challenges, or what it's causing them to not find the solution. But what are some of those challenges that could lead them down this road to mergers and acquisitions, or closing their business if they don't find those solutions? What are some of the biggest challenges that you'd say they're facing?
Those two are just so far apart, aren't they? The first one you were talking about looking towards merger and acquisition,
Right.
that's a CEO with vision. Someone that's looking to actually do something and achieve something and leave a mark.
Yes.
Those challenges are, I think we just covered a little bit of it. Inexperience can be a problem, and the glasses being a bit too big can also be a bit of a problem, in that their vision may be bigger than what they are capable of. It's about, actually, let's go on to roll-ups, shall we? Let's just flip this for a second. Let's move on to roll-ups.
Sure.
Let's start small. So roll-ups are where you take smaller companies that are either similar or have a similar area. So they might all be bicycle companies. Just something random there. They might all be bicycle shops. However, then you see an opportunity for a tire shop as well to go with these, because yeah, you need better tires, you need better
Right.
wheels, that sort of thing. So what you can do is buy one bicycle shop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can buy a tire company. Now, the reason that I'm telling this story is because you don't, mergers and acquisitions aren't about the big things. It's about getting the little things right. So you can
Mm.
start off smaller and just take things on bit by bit, but it's about getting it right, getting those processes, getting those systems, getting the integration right, and then you can start to upscale. Okay, so that was all to do with the bigger glasses. Now, see,
So let me
we
let
did
me
come back.
clarify something real quick though. When you talk in that analogy, when you're talking about buying the bicycle shop, so if I'm understanding correctly, they could go out and buy one, figure out how that works, figure out implementation processes and all of that. When they've got that in place and they're moving forward nicely, then they could add on another one. They could go out and buy
That's
another
right,
one.
yes.
Stage at a time, step at a time. Got it.
You see, what goes wrong is my best mate. My best mate goes out and he and his wife buy a canteen at a school. They take on a canteen at a school. And I'm chatting with him and I say, okay, you're looking at buying another one and another one. He said, yeah. I said, so you're making money with this one? He said, no. I said, no, you can't go and buy another one. He said, we're going to make money on the next one. No, you're not. You, you're going to lose more money on the
You're
next
gonna lose
one.
more
You've
money.
got to
Yeah,
get it
because you
right
don't
in
have
the
a
first
system.
one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You don't know what's wrong yet.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that's right. So you've got to get that system right and understand it. The second one is about testing the implementation, testing the processes and systems. Once you've got that, then you can start to ramp it up. Go out and buy yourself 4 bicycle shops next time,
Gotcha.
or a small
Because
chain, or things
yeah,
like that. So
got
that's
it.
that's also part of the roll-up operation, by the way. Do you want to know what the
Okay.
next step is?
I would love to know what the next step is.
The next step is you've now got 10 bicycle stores and 1 tire shop. And you've got that into your business. So that original bicycle store, you didn't pay full money for that. You only paid 80%. The owner of that bicycle store put in 20% as vendor capital. He still owns a piece of that bicycle store.
Yes.
It's come into, so now you've bought that and put that into your business. He owns not 20% of your business, but he owns, let's say, 2% of your business. You have done really, really well over the last 5 years. You've got these systems in place, you've got these processes in place. Life is pretty shiny. Oh, we haven't finished that other story yet about exiting, have we? About the person wanting to get out. We're
Not yet.
close. We're close.
We'll get
We're
there.
really close. So now I've decided that I've had enough and I want to get out. So what I do is I go off to a bigger company and I say, look, I've got all these bicycle stores and this tire company and my original business there. I want to sell. So we do a deal and we sell. So now this guy who had 20% of the bicycle store
Right.
now got 2% of my business, just been sold again. So what's that? 1, 2, 3. Is now 3 sold 3 times, just sold again. So his 2% is now dwindled. Sorry, it's dwindled. It's dwindled to
Okay.
0.5% of the huge company.
Oh
So
wow.
he's been paid out. Paid out. He got paid out when I gave him money to buy the bicycle company. He got paid out again when I sold my company, and he's still got 0.5% left of the huge company. So he's been paid twice now for his business, and it looks like he's still got an interest in this huge company. That's what a roll up is. where you just
Wow.
keep getting paid for the business that you put together. And each time they sell it, you still keep a bit of it, but they pay you out again. It's a wonderful system.
That is a
So
wonderful system.
that brings us to the exit one that we're finally getting around to. That's one way of someone exiting, and that is a planned exit. That's going in with an idea as to what you want to do. Regrettably, 80% of people don't have a plan for their business exit. So
True.
what will happen is they'll either get divorced, company will be closed down, shut up, sold off for nothing. They'll just close the business down, they'll die, the business gets shut down again. So what I ask each and every one of your people out there, because they're watching this for the CEO, Holy Grail, what is your exit plan for your business? What is your exit plan for you in that business? As an employee, as an owner, anybody inside a business, you need an exit plan as well.
Yeah.
The business needs an exit plan as well.
Right.
So,
And we
what
know
is
that
your
there's
exit plan?
that's such a great question, Craig, because we know that there's a high percentage, like 90 to 95% of businesses that are not sellable. That they go to a broker to see about selling their business, and the broker says, "I can't help you. That your business has no value to someone else because you're the business, right?" And that's where, Asha and I come in as well, is helping them to create a business that can run without them, a highly profitable business that they don't have to do everything in, that the business has all that structure that it needs so that it can run without them and they can create that exit plan. It's so important. I'm so glad you brought up exit plan, exit strategy and plan, because most business owners, small business owners, don't have it.
That's right.
And a lot of times
Now,
they'll tell you, "I
20.
don't plan to exit. I'm
Oh,
not planning to exit my business." And well, what happens if you get hit by a bus tomorrow? What legacy are you
that's
leaving
right.
for your family?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just going to check these comments. I can check comments in here, can I?
You
What I want
can,
people to
yes.
do is I want you to write down, do you have an exit plan? Yes or no? And if you have an exit plan for rate it, divorce, disaster, the bus, uh, death,
Yeah,
or sale. So rate it out of that on a percentage basis. Put that in the comments. Hey, let's see how good you are. Okay,
excellent.
now there was something else that you just said, Regina, and that was businesses have no value. And yes, I know you, Asher, are so good at putting together those systems and those procedures to create that value. And that is nearly 80% of the value of a business. The thing
Yeah,
is, people get stuck on this 20%, and
right.
that's all ego. The 20% is, oh, I have goodwill, I have customers. Well, your customers are going to walk out the door, and your goodwill, it's just a number on a piece of paper.
Yeah,
It's not real.
right.
So you can't rely on goodwill. You really can't. It is the systems, the processes that create the numbers, not the made up number of goodwill. All the other
Right.
numbers are real. That goodwill one is just fantasy.
Agreed. So, Craig, let's step back for just a moment and let's address, what is it costing these business owners, these CEOs, to not find these solutions to these challenges? What's it costing them to not have that exit strategy, to not have all these things that we've talked about here? What's the cost?
Well, I'm putting a presentation together for a group of investors for this time tomorrow morning. And I've got my slide actually just over here. And number 6, Would you be prepared to pay for this service? Can you afford not to? Sadly, you will pay one way or another. How much is it costing you and here we go. It's not just money here. How much is it costing you in risk? How much is it costing you in time? And how much is it costing you in money? So there are multiple costs there that we need to address. What it's costing them is a lifetime's work. That's the simple answer. I don't know how I can sum that up any simpler than that. It is costing you your lifetime's work, your kids' inheritance. That's what it's costing.
Yes.
So
And
that may
it
not
may
be what
also
you expected as a
no,
response, but that's it.
it absolutely is. And there are some other risks or costs involved that people don't think about necessarily, and that is, if you're devoting all of your time and energy to this, how's your health? Is your health suffering as well?
Yes,
How are your relationships? If you're married, how are you doing with your spouse? Are you ever there
absolutely.
for them, right? Are you there for
Yes.
the children, the grandchildren, whatever? There are relationship costs that add up, take a tremendous toll. I'll put it that way.
Why do people take
Uh,
out insurance, Regina?
yes.
They take out insurance just in case something happens. They take it out so that, and you see these insurance commercials, oh, they all have smiley faces on them because they've got their insurance now. Because the idea is that it's supposed to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have a plan, you don't have an exit plan, and you don't have these systems, these processes in place to create the value in your business, then that is going to put stress. Now that you've realized it, now that you've watched this, you've got no excuses. You are going to leave this presentation and you're going to be all stressed out at this stage because you realize that all the trouble that you're in. So again, I'm
Such a
pretty
wake up.
sure there's going to be some contact details here for Regina and Asha. Get on the line to them straight after this and let them put that insurance policy in place for you so that you can walk off with that smile. But I guarantee you that if you haven't come off this presentation feeling a bit guilty or feeling as though things are not quite right, then you've missed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
sorry,
we're
sorry,
all in that
Regina. I
boat.
shouldn't be
No, no, no.
disrespectful to your guest, should I? But I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to
Not
emphasize the
disrespectful.
point.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Raise the alarm.
emphasize the point that
You know.
we've got to do something about this.
Yeah.
And if you do, the rewards are there. The
Yes.
rewards, if you can do the plan to make your business attractive. And that's what I always say to people. And that's item number 5 on my list over here. Are you making your business attractive to venture capitalists and private equities?
Yeah.
And the next line down, how do you sell something? You make it easy to buy.
Exactly.
Make yourself attractive, make your business attractive to these organizations so that you can sell it if you want to. It gives you an option up your sleeve so that you can do that. It also makes your accountant and everyone else happy because you've got those processes in place. Make their life much easier.
Exactly. And how attractive is that business to somebody if the business doesn't run without you?
How attractive is it to your wife or your spouse, you
Yeah,
mean?
that as well. Yes. Yes, that
Not
as well.
attractive at all.
Yeah. Because
Well,
people don't
I
want to
just
buy you, they want to buy the business, right? They don't want to buy you. They don't want you as part of the package. They want to buy your business. And if
now I'm upset. I'm upset and hurt now.
well, I don't mean you personally, Craig. I mean all of us business owners.
That's right. Their focus is the business. And I got a call off someone 2 days ago, and they said, look, I've got a group of businesses and I want to acquire these businesses, but their financials and their businesses are a mess. They've got personal stuff coming out of the business and everything like that. Now, your group here, they're going to be a bit more professional than that, I'm assuming. They're more educated based
We
on
hope so.
your criteria. But you've got to have all of that sorted. You've got to have your finances sorted. You've got to have your structures sorted.
Yes.
I guess the obvious thing, and I feel a little bit hypocritical here because I haven't done this myself in a while, and
Oops, we've had a little lag here, folks, in technology.
now I'm going,
There
oh,
you well, yeah,
are
you
we
kind of
back?
went away for
So,
just a moment. Could you
oh,
repeat
sorry
that,
about that.
Craig? That's
But I
okay.
was just about to say, I feel a little guilty here because I haven't checked this myself. But when was the last time that you did a will? Again, you're the business, aren't you? So if we take
Exactly.
that just one step further. But what I would really like, the concerns for a CEO are that they don't have the right people in place, that
Mhm.
they are focused in on making sales, putting the business together. But what I deal with people that are out there buying businesses and acquiring businesses. And I say to them, okay, have you got your back end sorted out? And again, I realize this is a early morning, so I should be a little bit polite there. I actually meant the back end of their business. Their accounting. This wasn't a medical show, was it? So their accounting, their HR, their payroll, their legal. And depending on the size of your business, are you and your focus of your business, are you really the person that should be doing that? Or are there better people out there to do it? Are there
Yeah,
organizations out there that can take care of all of that for you? That's what they do. Sure, it could cost you more money, but if that frees you up and that gives you better results
right.
at the back end as well, and if that frees you up, does that allow you to go out there and find more clients and to
Correct.
do more business
Yes.
and to free up your mind as well?
Be
So
more
I think that's a
visionary,
really
create.
key thing.
You are 100% on the mark there, sir. And, smaller businesses are going to be thinking, yeah, but I can't afford to bring on payroll. I can't afford to bring on employees to do those things, but you don't have to today, right?
Don't. No. You can there's organizations out there that do the whole lot for you, or there's a new system. Now, this is struggling to come into Australia, but I'm aware that it is in the US and Canada, and that is fractional employees as well.
Yes.
So if you
Yes.
look up fractional employees, you can have a third of a really great person, or you can
Yes.
have a quarter of a really great person a week that can do this stuff for you. Now, for some reason, that it isn't being adopted very well in Australia.
Interesting. Interesting.
We in Australia we are pretty close to the same time zone as the Philippines, so we tend to outsource to another
Right.
country
Right.
rather than within our own country to great, exceptional people.
Maybe you can change that, Craig. Bring some awareness.
Oh, that's it. That really is. And the CEO holy grail again. As a CEO, I'm sure you've got people on here that themselves are fractional CEOs that are working in multiple companies.
Yes.
If you can do it, other people can do it as well. And given that we live in a remote world, what you've got, Asher in Poland, you're in the
Yeah.
US, I'm in Australia.
Yeah.
And apart from a couple of little technical hiccups that happen for a few seconds here and there, we get by.
Absolutely. Yeah. We are truly a global society today. And I love the fact that we can work with someone from anywhere in the world. It's just amazing. We're not limited by our borders any longer. So,
No. And I'm wondering what else off this slide you'd really like to look at.
well, yeah, tell
But
us more about what's on
I
there.
think, well,
It's in sync
we've just
with
covered
what we're
number
doing.
one. Yeah, we've just covered number one about the back end.
Right?
We've covered number two about risks, but we haven't covered number three, and that is this preventing you from moving forward at the pace you would like?
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
I go back to the systems and procedures. I said I was in IT years ago. I was a systems and process person, and I probably still am. I can't help myself. But I've never written one yet that's perfect. They can
Yeah.
always be reviewed. They can always be updated. They can always be made better. And
Right.
when you do a merger and acquisition, there are things in the other organization, the one that you're buying, that we go looking for. And they're called golden nuggets.
Mm. Tell me
And
about golden
they
nugget.
are they're the things that we really want. They're just the little bits that are going to make us as a whole better. They're doing
Ah,
something exceptional. They're doing something fantastic that we need to take on over our entire organization, which will make us all better. So, what golden nuggets can you find out there? And coming to a podcast like this is certainly one way of doing it, because you're leveraging off the guests, you're
yes.
leveraging off Regina and Asha, who are themselves out there interviewing guests to find out if they're suitable to come on here. So I'm glad I made the cut, because I'm assuming other people didn't. So they're taking on that information as well, and then they're making it available to you so that you can then go back and look at previous interviews as well. So this is really an ideal way to get those golden nuggets in a simplified and abbreviated form.
I love that. And it's so true.
And number
Yeah, you
four, what would
definitely
it mean
made
to
the
you to
cut,
be able to
Craig.
move faster with less risk and more certainty?
Moving forward faster with less risk and more certainty.
That's it. That's what we want to do, isn't it? But
Yes.
the issue is, if you're not got your systems and processes in place, you haven't got your back end in place, you haven't got your exit strategy in
Yeah.
place, well, you're certainly not minimizing your risk, are you? So therefore,
No,
you can't achieve that last one. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's my
much harder
slide, and
process. That's awesome. This is so timely, isn't it?
it was, considering I only wrote that yesterday.
I love it. This has been a joy to visit with you today, Craig. And you know, hopefully as folks are listening to us today, their wheels are turning like mine are. So as I'm sitting here listening to you and having this conversation with you, I'm thinking of people that I want to introduce you to, people that I know could benefit from your knowledge and your skill sets. And so that's a real plus and a blessing for me to be able to have this conversation with you. And hopefully, as our audience has listened to us today, they've learned some things that are going to help them move forward in a more positive, strategic way in their businesses, so they create that business that can run without them, that's highly profitable, that's desirable and attractive in the marketplace, as we talked about being attractive earlier. So give me your wrap up thoughts, Craig, your final thoughts here.
my thoughts aren't so important as the actions taken by your people. And you've just highlighted a really good point that I want to address, and that is, everybody that you speak to, everybody, all your clients, have you asked them for 2 recommendations, referrals of clients? And if you haven't, get that down on your to-do list for tomorrow. Take some action on that one, because they're the people that are going to get you more business. You
Yeah.
can spend money on a whole heap of advertising and whatever, but it's your clients, it's
Yeah.
your reputation. And I know we said goodwill for your businesses, sorry about that, is not what it's all about. But while you're in the business, you're a part of that business and your reputation. So go out and ask for people for clients and
Yeah.
recommendations to people.
And isn't that how you and I met? Weren't we introduced by
That
a
is correct.
mutual
Yes.
acquaintance? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So it works, folks. It works.
Thank you for
I,
having me, Regina and Asher. Hope you get better soon. It has been a bit of fun. And on my little advertising for this event, I said I'm going to go one-on-one with Regina and Asher. So yes, it was a bit scary. I've never done a tandem two against one
yeah,
before.
yeah.
So
And we
it was nice
definitely
to
missed
even the odds
Asha
a little.
today. Asha has so much experience and expertise and wisdom to offer in the discussion. So definitely she was missed today, and she'll be back with us again next time. But it was such a pleasure to have you here today, Craig, and to visit with you. And I look forward to this continuing relationship and seeing where this goes. Uh, and that's the thing, folks. When you have people, when you're introducing people or being introduced and doing those referrals, you never know where those relationships are going to go, and it,
No,
amazing things can happen. So again,
I
we
go to
appreciate you so
meetings.
much.
Thank you. And it's been great fun. I go to meetings and I think, oh, beforehand, this isn't going to work out. And then I go and meet this amazing person with a story that I just could not have imagined. So these days, I just go to meetings, I turn up and try not to do it judgments or
Yeah, have
try
an
and
open
preempt
mind.
what's going on.
Yep, open mind,
Open
open
mind all
heart.
the way.
That's
Yes.
right. Yes,
Thank
awesome.
you so much, Regina. Appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
Craig. And thank you, folks, for joining us today. We'll see you next time on the CEO Holy Grail. Bye for now.